Welcome back again. Hallie here with Trail of Cars. Today I'm going to show you how I've taught my kindergartner how to read using no curriculum. I'm going to show you a few resources that I use to teach him. And what I mean by no curriculum is I didn't buy an expensive reading program. I am sure those things are all wonderful and great, but I had so many things lying around that I thought, let me try this without buying one of those things. And if it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. Here are some of the things I used in no particular order. One is sight words. They're not kept in a pretty box. Y'all know we're not fancy around here. Sight word cards. Sight words. You can also make your own. I did this for my oldest. Happens to be never card 7. Right. If there were words that just weren't in this packet, we did actually use this with my older one. This is a combination of a lot of different cards. Here's another homemade one. This is from another set. If they didn't have the words I used, I found them or I made them. I think these are all the sight words kids need to know through 2nd grade. But they're all in here. We keep them in one spot. And if you've seen my homeschool tour video or my what you need to homeschool video, you've seen the little boxes that the boys have where I put all their schoolwork. So this just rests in his box. We go over a few a day. We pick 5 or 6 words and he memorizes them. That's a lot of what reading is really memorizing what certain things look like. The next thing that you need, going off of sight words, this is our sight word binder. Again, not fancy. And if you don't take anything away from my channel, it's always that you don't always need the fancy things. You don't need necessarily the expensive curriculum. You don't need to feel like you're spending a ton of money. And I want to encourage everybody that you can do homeschool without spending a fortune. Okay, back to this. So, this is just a binder of sight words. He has these, I'll come back to these in a minute. Sticky. So these are just in sheet protectors, and it's just the word, and it has them trace it, write it, and then build it. So this is what the inside of the sight word book looks like. It has the word, where you trace it, write it, build it, find it, and then use it. You can just have the kid write a sentence or have them actually just write the word a few more times, depending on your preference. But this is where this comes in. That was just a note I had to make sure that I created. The second part I'm going to tell you, a long time ago I had that note to remind me of something. But these are just, you see, I made this out of construction paper, and it's just the letters written on little squares of construction paper. I have since added in one of the boxes in our homeschool room, we have letter tiles, I have big cardboard letters, sticker letters, and I will give him this and give him another piece of paper, or he just has a notebook where he can build these letters. It's worked out perfectly. This is actually, they're not all exactly the same, they're all a little different. There is a file on Teachers Pay Teachers. If you look for this, they have these, and it will cost you some, but those people have put a lot of time and effort into that, so that's only fair. My oldest kindergarten teacher was nice enough to give us this to use, and I've added to it over the years, and I've been able to find other words that we needed to give him extra practice, and my kindergartner has gone through the majority of these words and will continue to use this. The other thing I did get is Explode the Code. And my reasoning behind that was to teach him to sound out words as well. I was helping him do it. He knew his letter sounds, but he needed some help in that area. This book has been so great for him. It's simple. There's different little activities with the different word sounds that the kids can learn how to sound words out. He tested into 1.5. I'm not real sure on all the levels. This is the first time we've ever used it, and I have been 100% happy. Sorry if you hear my kids. My bedroom window's right there, and they're playing outside. But this has been wonderful with this for Explode the Code, for phonics and sounding out words. Get you a good sight word builder for sight words. And just on another note, you really could pick out a few sight words a week. There are charts you could find online. I'll try to link to one if I remember, where it tells you the order you should teach kids sight words. And there's an order and a rhyme or reason to it, just because I think they're more frequent words. So let's say you pick down and two to work on for the week. You can take this same principle and apply it for yourself. You can write in highlighter these words on a piece of paper and have your kid trace them. Make some construction letter tiles and have your kids build the word, and then have them write the word themselves in just a simple notebook. It doesn't have to be complicated. Don't make it too complicated on yourself. Don't feel like you have to scour the internet for these things. You can make your own sight word book too. And the last thing, of course, to do is read, read, read. Even when your child is first learning, I encourage you to have them read to you. It will help so much. We've been using this book, yes, a classic, Dick and Jane. My mom actually got this book for us, I think when my oldest was learning to read and he was getting more familiar with books, and she bought this for him. He was always a super avid reader and devoured this book. He thought it was really cute. Well, we've been using this as the spine and the reader for my kindergartner. If you're not familiar with this book, my parents, and I think possibly my grandparents, learned to read from this book. So it's definitely a classic reader. But there's a reason why. It is so simple. The first story, you're introduced to Spot. Spot. Here, look, here, jump, jump. Oh, Spot. That's it. But the sight words you teach your kid for that week, here, look. Maybe jump if you want to. Or you could just tell him or say, what's the dog doing? He jumped. Jump, Spot. Your kids will learn from context clues. When reading this story for the week, make your sight words here and look. You build them, you trace them, you write them, you read them. And it helps reinforce what they're learning. And the next week, move on to the next word, said here. So what we do is we read the same story for a week, and we practice those sight words for a week. And now, as we've gone along with this book, he has become a little tired of it. So we've introduced other books. These are just a few examples. They're the ones that I picked out, but I want you to pay attention to the reading level. These are the Step 1 books. These are the Step into Reading books by Random House. A few of these I got recently from the library. Thank goodness it's opened back up. But these are some that have really simple language, and they're about things that he's interested in. He loved reading this book, The Pokey Little Puppy, another classic. It's got really easy words in it and lots of really good picture clues. Others, this truck book, the Toy Story book, and you can even build from books like this. It would take some time to go into the library and really look at the words that are in some of these books, but you could do it. If you didn't want to get a reader like this, I'll have to see if I can find to link this, I will. If you want to follow the sight word track, you could even take a book like this if you have a reluctant reader who you know is really interested in Toy Story. Old friends, new friends. Great sight words to teach them. And just reading it over and over again, and then taking those flashcards and quizzing them on it. And it's really worked well for us. I hope this is encouraging. I'm going to include a few videos of my son reading and a few of the games that we've played along the way to help him learn to read. Another great way to encourage your kid to read is to read to them. We read every night to our children. They each get to pick a story. Even my oldest still picks stories, and we read aloud at some point every day. We've recently been reading Around the World in 80 Days in part of our nighttime routine, and before we read for bed. I read this in addition to the stories that they want to read. And while it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of me talking. It's really great bonding time for all of us. But these classic start versions are great versions of books that may be more complicated for younger readers, but they make it very easy to understand for them, and they're still hearing classic stories. They have these in tons of titles.
Good job.
A.
Good.
R. No. On.
Good job.
I.
Connor, can you tell me what it says?
I am a ghost. I am a ghost. My sister's a cat. We go trick or treating. We get so much candy. The pokey little puppy. 5 little puppies dig, dig, dig. Under the fence, into the meadow. Run, run, down the road.
Good.
Across.
Nope. Look at it. There's an O.
On.
Over.
Over the bridge. Across the green grass. Up the hill.
Nope.
2 by 2.
Good.
1, 2, 3. Here is that pokey little puppy.
I hope that this encouraged you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Ask me a question in the comments or follow me on Instagram, and I would love to chat with you about easy, cost-effective ways to teach your kids how to read or do almost anything regarding homeschool and learning. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.